Welcome to the My Crazy Office podcast with the authors of Working With You Is Killing Me, Working For You Isn't Working For Me, and Mean Girls at Work, Kathy Elster and Catherine Crowley. They're committed to creating world peace, one crazy office at a time. And now, here are Kathy and Catherine.
Hi everyone, I'm Kathy Elster.
And I'm Catherine Crowley, and welcome to My Crazy Office.
And today we want to welcome our guest, Pat Brown. She's a talented comedian, writer, and actress. Tell us a little bit about yourself and how people can find out about you.
I actually am from Kansas City, Missouri, but I was raised most of my life in Atlanta, Georgia, and I just recently moved here about 5 years ago.
Oh.
So people can find me at comedianpatbrown.com or Pat Brown Show, which is all roads leads to Pat Brown Show. Facebook, Twitter, everything. All roads lead to Pat Brown Show.
Now, you said you recently moved here, but it was 5 years ago. That's not recent.
Yeah, it is for New York.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think
Really?
it just takes so long to figure out things in New York.
I agree.
As opposed to, and
to
so
really
when you
build a community.
Yeah,
too.
absolutely. So when you hear like a year and a half, it feels like you just got here. I mean, it really does.
It's true.
Because you have to figure out things, know people, and get out. It's just so many things here to do.
I'm born and raised here, so at what point did you feel, okay, I'm a New Yorker?
I know. You don't have to tell nobody.
No, I mean, at what point? Like, how many years?
Oh, will I say that?
Yeah. Oh, you still don't say that?
No. I don't think I have I would ever have the credibility to say that until I lose a little of this accent. You know what I'm saying? You can't have a twang and say you're a New Yorker. So I say I live in New York. So I say I'm a Northerner. I have Yankee influence now, but no, I never say I'm a New Yorker. Never.
See, I think New York is made up of so many people from so many different places. There's not that many people born and raised here.
Correct.
I mean, usually those people get out. So, I mean, I stayed. But that's why I always think, a New Yorker is somebody who just feels it in their blood.
Well, you know what? I travel a lot, and so I always meet a lot. And I've just been to Florida, and I've met all these New Yorkers that live in Florida, been living in Florida for 40 years. And I was like, how many people are New Yorkers? And they just scream like crazy. Well, they've been in Florida for like 30 years.
Yeah, I know there's some kind of direct connection between Florida and New York. I don't know why, but there is.
It is, absolutely. But I think it's something almost arrogant when you say, where the New Yorkers at? And no matter where you are right now in your life or how long you've been away from New York, you just gotta
You're a
answer
New Yorker.
Brooklyn, or it's just something in you that you compelled to say that.
It's true.
Yeah, it's true.
And actually, I traveled to Venezuela with a friend of mine, and I mean, I don't consider myself a New Yorker, but the guy who was helping with the luggage knew us immediately because we wouldn't let him touch our bags.
Yeah.
He knew you were a New Yorker?
Right,
okay,
yeah.
No,
New Yorker, you don't let me touch your bag.
Okay.
No, we stand out.
Oh, absolutely.
We're obvious. All right, why don't we go to our first question, Logan?
Right. I've recently been hired as a department manager, and I've inherited a certain longtime employee who's very friendly with my boss. I've noticed that she goes to his office on a regular basis. Recently, he came to me and said that he'd heard that I'd talk down to the staff at our weekly meeting. First, I didn't do that. Second, the only way he could have heard something like that is through her. What do I do?
Ooh, I don't like that. That's, she's friends with him, but she shouldn't be going over her boss's head. And
Tattletale?
Yeah. I mean, she could have just gone directly to him and said something. Why go to the boss like that? I don't like that.
Yeah, she's
But this
undercutting
happens.
him. It definitely happens a lot.
Yeah. Someone's trying to show someone who's really in charge, right? Something to that effect.
So what does he do? I mean, he could call her in and say, please come to me directly next time. I'd appreciate that. I like all feedback, or, he could try that. But
That could be a starting place.
I don't know if that's going to work.
I think he could pull her in. I mean, pull her in as if she was his ally also.
Oh,
Yeah.
good.
You could pull her in. It's like, hey, I heard from the boss that some people think that I talk down to them. And since you've been here a long time, how do you think my approach is, and what do you think that I should do better?
I like that.
Brilliant.
Do you think she'd tell the truth?
I think she would, because she's going to the boss anyway. I think she feels like she wants to have some amount of power. And so that gives her a certain amount of power. And it also shows her that, oh, well, he values me. He values my opinion, even though he may or may not. But that's the way to handle her, I think.
Interesting.
That's very clever. I actually was thinking even you could build on that and somehow he could make sure to give her some responsibility so that she keeps feeling important because clearly it's all about that. But you do still have to deal with the triangle that's going on there, right?
Yeah, there you go.
How
There's
do you
that
cut that
triangle.
A little love triangle going on in that office.
Yeah. See, I don't trust her now. I don't trust her. I have an issue. I'm sorry. I have an issue. I've seen her before.
We've met her before.
We've met
Yeah,
her.
we all met her.
So I think that he has to do something stronger. I'm not sure what it is yet.
I think he may have to talk to the boss as well.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
I agree.
And,
Right. Like
yeah.
what he has to say is, look, I'm speaking to the staff about this. I'm going to address my behavior in this regard. But what I will need from you is from here on in, if someone comes to you, please send them back directly to me.
Right.
He's got to snip that triangle.
Right. And also know that there's two sides to every story. So, yeah, send them back to me. Tell them you can't do anything about it, that they have to come directly to me. Yeah, that's actually what has to happen.
Pat, I see those wheels turning. Do you have another
Oh, yeah,
idea?
I agree that he has to definitely go to the boss and talk to him about that because you're undermining his authority anytime he's taking the word of just the employee and not asking him about it. But worst case scenario with the employee, you can always go with putting cocaine in her desk.
Yeah.
And
No, listen.
she's out of there. I'm
Listen,
sorry.
I think
I'm sorry.
setting her up.
We've noticed that
Setting her
problems.
up as a criminal. I think that there's,
Well, she went behind his back and tried to set him up. So,
Absolutely,
you know,
yes.
karma, you know?
Yeah.
yeah,
Goes
that could-
around, comes
that's
around.
A valid revenge.
I'm just saying if that first two things don't work, if those are, we got to get her out of there.
Yeah, see, I think she's a big problem.
Uh-huh.
I do. I think she's really a big problem. Because they're friends and
Yeah.
she has a different connection with the boss. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I think the thing to do is to go to the boss and cut that triangle.
But if you just said they're friends,
Yeah.
It's a problem.
I know, but if they are friends, the boss and her are friends, then him going to the boss may not be effective. You know, because that maybe
Right, you
that's
don't know.
maybe that's his way of keeping an eye on the department manager.
That's a very good
Yeah,
point.
that's true.
So you really have to assess. So there's some
See,
assessing
this is
that
why you have
goes
to
on.
start your own business.
Just
Work
think
for
you-
people.
Yeah, but you're dealing with people,
It's
and people
unbelievable.
are
It's
they come with
unbelievable.
their own little baggages and whatever, and so they yeah.
Yeah, this has to really be handled carefully. You have more, Catherine?
No, what I was going to say is I think you really, part of this situation is that you really have to assess what the boss is capable of and what this employee is capable of. It could be that she just needs more, to be shown more respect or to be brought in, as you mentioned, Pat,
Right,
and
and I
brought
said-
into the conversation. It also could be that the boss needs to be, have it explained that in order for you to succeed in your position, it's really important that employees don't do an end run around you.
Right.
Correct.
And see what happens. But then you have to see just what you're saying, Pat, the caliber of the boss, of
Right.
whether that person can understand that that's the best thing for
But
the...
another thing is he does have to figure out how to really get her to like him because he needs her as an ally also.
Yeah.
Which one?
The new boss.
new department manager.
Yeah, I think he has to figure out what is it that she needs in order to
She
like
needs
him.
to be valued, and
Yeah.
she feels she needs to be valued, and she needs to feel like that she has some modicum of power.
Power.
Right,
It's
right.
all
It
about
is-
the power.
It is
Yeah.
about power.
It
Isn't
is.
So he could give her some cocaine. That might help.
I noticed you've been a little down lately, so
Yeah, cocaine is a mood enhancer. It makes you feel quite confident, I think, when you use it.
Does it make you feel confident? I don't know. I'm afraid to do cocaine. I'm afraid I might like it. Because I've never heard of somebody say, well, I never liked it. I never enjoyed it.
That's true.
They always
Very
tell you
true,
about
actually.
what they've lost by doing it, but they never tell you that it wasn't good.
enjoyed
Like
that
that ride
experience.
wasn't great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is
true.
true. All right, we're going to go to our next question. But before we do that, we're just going to take a quick commercial break and we'll be right back.
Ever feel like you or your company could use a 20-minute therapy session? Well, K-Squared has your back. Simply download a K-Talk, plug in those earpods, or gather a group of your coworkers and feel better instantly. Well, almost. Each K-Talk covers a specific topic and costs a fraction of what a traditional therapy session would. Feeling stressed by your workload? There's a K-Talk for that. Working with someone who's done you wrong? There's a K-Talk for that. Can't ask for a raise, need a vacation, hate your boss? K-Talk, K-Talk, K-Talk. Just go to ksquaredenterprises.com and purchase the K-Talk that fits your situation. Now back to our show.
Okay, so Logan, what's our second question?
I sit next to a guy who is a real slob, and it drives me crazy. He keeps his smelly gym clothes under his desk.
Ugh.
He eats stinky meat sandwiches and chews like a cow. He snorts and belches and laughs really loud. Honestly, I find him gross. What should I do?
I mean, I find him gross too. I can't stand
Leave
people
us
like this.
alone.
It's just not nice. I don't
It's not
understand.
nice.
It's not nice. I mean, it's like he's a baby. He sounds like he just like his mother never taught him
big
proper
baby man.
manners. And he's like a bad roommate.
Well, this is actually, we would call this a boundary issue, would we
Yes, it
not?
is a
Because
boundary
this
issue.
person is inadvertently invading her olfactory and auditory space.
Yeah.
So, does she
Yeah.
communicate something to him?
Yeah, I think she has to say something to him.
My question is, what is a stinky meat sandwich?
I
What
actually know
kind of
that-
meat is that? Is that,
Term
is
for
that
it.
Vienna sausages? Is that sardines? What is a stinky meat sandwich?
I think it could be just about anything as long as you got it from the street.
It's like he's bringing like
No, I think honestly,
putting,
what do you mean?
wait,
From
wait.
like the
Those
like
carts,
the
you know?
carts?
He's
that
putting
have
halal. He's
unidentified-
putting halal in between like
Oh.
two pieces of bread or something.
Oh, I think you
Well, the
hurt people's feelings because they go to the halal carts all the time.
Halal's great.
no, but no. First of all, tuna really stinks. Also,
Exactly, but also too, if you think somebody is just a slob and whatever, and no matter what he opens up, it's going to be a sticky meat sandwich. You know
That's
what?
true.
Yeah,
Yes, that's right.
She's
It could
already
be
got
yogurt.
Her, yeah, it could be yogurt.
It could be a salad. It's to be like, oh,
Exactly. Yeah.
God.
Look at him, slob. Because it's like when you see really, really big people eat,
Yeah.
and you know they have to eat, but no matter what, you have to disdain from like. That's why you're fat, but they have to eat. You know what I'm saying? But people,
It's just
no
surviving.
matter what they eat, they have the people are very critical.
Judgmental.
Yeah,
You're right.
Hey.
You're right.
Well,
so
you know-
no matter what, you've
All right,
already
so
framed the
maybe
opinion.
she needs to have an attitude adjustment then, if that's
no,
what
I
you're
don't
talking
think
about.
so. I think he doesn't smell himself because anyone who leaves
Right.
their dirty gym clothes under the desk, they
Yeah.
don't. They don't.
No, they don't.
They
No,
don't
no.
smell it. They
So
just,
she says, I know it's not your intention, but I'm having a hard time with your gym clothes.
This is a lot though.
Yeah.
Gym
Yeah, he's a
clothes, stinky
slob.
meat sandwiches. He chews disgusting. He belches. He just.
Yeah, I mean, this guy does not have what we would call executive presence. Exactly. He's not going to do well if somebody doesn't confront this and say, you have to change some habits. This is not your home. This is your office.
Yeah, but your coworker is not the person to.
This is
confront
interesting
that, I
though
don't think.
because me and they will change if they think say a woman in the office likes them.
That's right.
So if you can say if he's not
Somebody
like married,
likes you.
yeah, like somebody likes you, they just think that you need
might
to
clean up.
clean up a little better, but somebody really likes you.
Wait a minute. This is great strategy.
Good strategy, Pat. Wow.
Wow, I mean, she's really feeling you. I've said too much.
Right. I like
You
that.
come in the
Yeah,
next
and
day
then-
and he's in a suit and the
Yeah.
desk is all clean.
And then you play a game where
incense.
you would like post-it notes like, "Oh, I love that tie," it with a smiley face, secret admirer.
With your non-dominant hand, so he doesn't recognize your hand.
Wow, somebody is a criminal mind. That's absolutely right. Yeah, you can do that because men.
I think that might work.
I
It
think that
might.
might work.
But in the meantime, you might want to go to HR and bitch.
Oh yeah. You always gotta have a
Backup
backup
plan B,
plan.
plan
Backup
B.
plan, yeah.
And put cocaine on his desk. If all else fails, what are you going to do?
All right. So I think what you're saying, she can't confront him.
She can't confront him. I mean, she could certainly try Pat's plan. I think that's very potentially
creative,
powerful. But to your point, if it is about that, it's a problem that he doesn't have executive presence.
That's a beautiful
And as
phrasing.
long as his supervisor is not also a loud, snorting, chewing, stinky meat person, you could ask them perhaps to just talk about executive presence or talk about professionalism.
You know, I've had to for bosses. I've had to talk to women about their attire and how to dress more professionally.
Yeah.
I've never been asked to talk to a man about it, but
Yeah.
I'm sure there
How do they
are male
usually-
coaches that have to do this. You know,
How do the women usually respond?
very well. They're really grateful somebody told them. So that's why I think he might also be grateful if somebody in a position of authority were to say,
Yeah.
you know, look, you're
You have
offended.
great potential.
Right.
You're offensive. Oh my god.
You have great
This is
potential
not a
until someone
dorm.
gets close to you. Then it's a problem.
No, I think look, I've had to say to women, there's a time and a place, and then as you get professional, you have to change your attire, and you know, you don't want your clothes to get in the way of your relationship. You don't want, you know.
Oh, right.
You know, you don't want your breasts to
clothes.
have more of a presence than you know what you're actually talking to them about. I mean, there's ways to talk about it. So I think, you know, she definitely needs somebody who's willing to take this on. A lot of managers aren't willing to take it on. They'd
Right.
rather just hide
Exactly.
their nose in the desk and, you know, not deal with that.
Hide their nose.
Detach their nose from their face and just
Well, you could. What if she wore like those, those swimming nose plugs?
Wouldn't it be funny if we found out like backstory and this was our ex-husband? And, right.
One of them, yeah.
Yeah, one of them. Oh, no. Yeah, and so this is just a lead in from
right. He's
yeah.
just spiraling into some
Exactly.
kind of something depression and
Well, Margaret, I couldn't leave my gym clothes at the house. I can't leave them here.
I've been eating your leftovers for 2 weeks because I can't cook.
Poor guy.
Yeah,
I don't feel bad for him.
No, he's probably legitimately a slob, but
Yeah, he needs to grow up.
I think though it's just the dynamic male-female dynamic.
That's
and
right.
It will never. I don't want to say never, but it's just where we are right now. It's just when you tell a guy that he doesn't look like something, because men are always more conscious of what a woman says about them than
Physically.
physically than
What
a
another
guy
man.
says it. So I think she has to either
Get somebody to do
a male either befriend another employee there that's a male, and he might say it, or a male that is his superior.
Right.
Yeah, but I don't think she should say it. I think
Okay.
I'm with you on
unless
that.
she comes in with the guy and her, and it's like a tandem. Like, yeah, we think.
You know, I
an
have
intervention.
ambushing.
Yeah.
But I have older
not just by her.
brothers. I have older brothers, and I know that, you know, I've had to discuss their stink many times. I just have to clean their room.
You're their sister though. It's different.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But there's a funny way that you can talk to a guy. Well, they're basically sister and brother too. I mean, they're coworkers.
No.
Well, wait, no, so you're assuming that they're of the same age and that
No.
they
I'm not saying that just because you're coworkers doesn't mean that you have a
License.
yeah. Well, you don't have necessarily that connection that you would have with your brother.
Right.
or,
Also, the chances are that she's rolling her eyes.
Oh, absolutely.
And making faces.
she does not like this guy.
Yeah.
No, she doesn't.
No.
Yeah. So her feedback from her is unlikely to be warmly received.
Okay, never mind. I was going to say that in good humor, she could, you know, make fun of that. And
With her nose plugged.
we'll just take out the stinky clothes and go, come on, you can't do this. You know, like she could do something like that, but not everybody. Okay, all right.
And I'm disagreeing with you, and
Okay,
I apologize
that's
for
fine.
this. It's just that I work with men all the time, and
Yeah.
I'm a comic.
Oh.
Yeah.
You know, so I come.
You can
and
say it in very funny ways.
Yeah.
I say it in a very funny way, and it's not received. So I'm a comic, and it's not received.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying? And I'm saying it in a funny way, but it's not received, and I mean it funny, and I don't even mean it. So, and she means it. You know, whatever I say to a guy, and I'm being funny or whatever, it just.
All right. So
Yeah.
Goes right over.
So the end game here is
Get someone else to do it.
or tell
guy.
the guy,
guy.
that there's a woman who really likes him that you
That
can't say too
actually
much
could be
about.
funny.
And making sure that it's a guy who gives him feedback if anyone does that.
And what's the third choice that we always go with?
Oh, well, the
Cocaine.
cocaine.
Set 'em up. There we go.
When in doubt, when in doubt, cocaine.
You've opened up a
Hey,
whole new world.
set them up. When in doubt, set 'em up. Get you out of here, guy. We're going to get you out of here.
All right, well, that's it for this segment. And Pat, tell us again how people can find out more about you. You're hysterical.
Thank you. You can find me at Pat Brown Show. All roads leads to Pat Brown Show. Facebook, Twitter.
And you got some YouTube stuff up.
I have some YouTube stuff up.
Right, and you're going to be in a movie coming out when?
It's coming out in January. It's called Whitewater, so please look out for that. Me, Lorenz Tate. So it should be a very interesting movies.
Yes.
Beautiful. Thank you for being here with us.
All right. So join us next time for another My Crazy Office podcast. And please go to iTunes and review our podcast, My Crazy Office. And don't forget to send your questions as well and your stories to info@mycrazyoffice.co.
My Crazy Office is produced in New York City at K Squared Studios. Stay crazy.